In January of 2023, a YouTuber named Colby uploaded a video titled Exploring an Abandoned School to his channel, Uncharted Expeditions. Colby's channel focuses on urban exploration, and he frequently shares footage of his experiences exploring various abandoned locations throughout North America. In this particular video, Colby, along with his friend Colton, decided to explore an abandoned school located somewhere in the United States. According to Colby, the school has been abandoned for a significant amount of time and is situated in a very rough neighborhood. The building itself has also become a haven for squatters and homeless individuals. As Colby began his exploration, he navigated through the property to locate an entrance. After locating an entry point, the explorers crawled through a hole to enter the building. Once inside, they immediately noticed the building's terrible condition, with deteriorating walls and ceilings, along with black mold spreading throughout the building. As they explored further, they discovered a mattress inside one of the rooms, indicating that someone might be living there, but they didn't hear or see anything that suggested the individual was currently inside the building. The explorers then left the room and continued their exploration. However, just moments later, as they were walking through one of the rooms, that's when they stumbled upon something truly unexplainable.
I feel like we should have brought masks. So much black mold. This is bad. Do you want to get the masks? They can't go back now. Knife in your pocket? Yeah. Yeah, let me see. You don't have your knife. That's bad. I don't know if y'all heard that, but the door literally opened and closed twice.
After the explorers noticed the door mysteriously moving on its own, they stared intently, trying to make sense of what they were witnessing. Given that the building was known to have issues with squatters and homeless individuals, there's a very high possibility that someone was inside the room and was somehow responsible for the door's movement. If this actually were the case, then things could escalate quickly, especially since squatters and homeless individuals are known to be hostile towards unwanted visitors. For the next few minutes, the explorers remained in their positions, contemplating whether they should go inside the room to investigate or whether they should leave. But the explorers eventually built up their courage and decided to investigate regardless of who might be inside.
I guess we gotta go through the creepy door. Yeah. Convenient door.
To the explorers' absolute shock, despite searching everywhere, they found nothing that could have moved the door. This detail was particularly alarming, given that the explorers had initially suspected someone was inside the room and had moved the door, but upon searching the room, they quickly realized this wasn't the case. The explorers now couldn't determine or comprehend how the door had moved. As a result, they decided to leave the room. However, as they were leaving, that's when they encountered something once again.
This is creepy, bro.
As the explorers were leaving the room, the door they had just exited suddenly began closing, and moments later, the door that had just closed started opening. By this point, the explorers had no interest in going back to the room to investigate further, but they didn't just leave. Instead, they began exploring the remaining parts of the building. However, little did the explorers know that what they were about to encounter next would be far worse than anything they had encountered previously.
Heck no. Colby, what the heck? No, this gotta be a joke. Dude, glass just broken. That would slam shut. I'm telling you, bro, I did it. It didn't open near as far then. Heck no.
It's evident that the door mysteriously starts opening and closing several times. Upon noticing the moving door, the explorers stayed at the end of the hallway, staring at the door and trying to rationalize and comprehend what they were looking at. After yet another bizarre encounter, the explorers had absolutely no idea why or how the doors were slamming. As a result, they were consumed with fear and anxiety over everything they had been witnessing. But they eventually composed themselves and decided to go towards the door and investigate it. However, just as they were approaching the door, that's when they encountered something that effectively put an end to their exploration. As the explorers were approaching the door, it once again slammed shut, and just seconds later, it inexplicably opened. When they entered the room to investigate, they searched everywhere to see if someone was inside or if wind was coming through an open window, but they unfortunately found nothing that could have caused the door to slam with such force. After this chilling encounter, the explorers had no interest in staying inside the building, and they eventually ended their exploration and left the school. It's still a mystery how the doors were opening and closing on their own, along with whether what the explorers encountered that day was paranormal. The only way to rationalize it is that the doors might have moved due to the wind. However, given the force with which the doors were slamming, combined with the fact that they were opening and closing simultaneously, this theory regarding the wind might not be true. Even if it was the wind, there were no open windows that could have produced such force to slam the doors. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide if what Colby and Colton encountered that day was truly paranormal or not.
I don't like it.
You think I like it?
It looks like you like it.
I'm intrigued.
I'm not.
If you've enjoyed the video so far, it would mean a lot if you considered subscribing. Over 95% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. Your support really helps the channel grow, and in return, I promise to keep bringing you guys the best quality content. Now let's get back to the video. In September of 2017, two YouTubers named Brian and Michael uploaded a video titled Exploring Abandoned Sanitarium Haunted by an Evil Doctor to their channel The Proper People. Their channel is dedicated to urban exploration, and for over a decade, they have been documenting footage of themselves exploring various abandoned locations around the world. In this particular video, Brian and Michael decided to explore an abandoned hospital known as the DeJarnette Sanitarium, situated in Staunton, Virginia. Constructed in 1913, the facility was named after Dr. Joseph DeJarnette, who was influential in shaping mental health care in Virginia during the early 20th century. However, the practices he implemented are considered controversial and problematic for several reasons. Dr. DeJarnette performed thousands of involuntary sterilizations on patients without their consent or understanding. Beyond sterilization, reports suggest that patients endured harsh and often ineffective treatments, including lobotomies and prolonged confinement in miserable conditions. He targeted individuals with mental illness, disabilities, or those from marginalized communities, and often referred to them as defectives. His ideology and treatments led to significant human rights violations and a lack of respect for individual autonomy. Fortunately, by the late 20th century, there was a significant shift in how mental health care was approached. As a result, the DeJarnette Sanitarium was officially shut down in 1996. Since then, the building has been completely abandoned for almost 30 years and is often listed among the most haunted locations in Virginia. Given Dr. DeJarnette's disturbing practices and the suffering endured by many patients, some believe that his spirit, along with the spirits of those who suffered, lingers and haunts the building. Despite all this, Brian and Michael set out to investigate the supposedly haunted hospital in the middle of the night. As the explorers entered the building, they immediately noted its eerie atmosphere, which was unlike anything they'd encountered before. The initial minutes of their exploration revealed nothing that indicated that the building was haunted, as they only discovered creepy graffiti and writings on the walls. However, approximately 10 minutes into their exploration, as they were walking through the hallway, that's when they encountered something truly disturbing.
They say this hospital is haunted by Dr. DeJarnette himself, and he's a pretty upset spirit by the fact that his eugenics program that he cared so much about was not continued or seen in any positive light after his death. And supposedly you can still hear him wandering the halls, dragging chains that he would have restrained patients with. Oh, I see another bat.
He's flying around in there.
Oh, multiple. Oh geez, those look like big ones.
What is it, 1 in 10 have rabies?
Something like that. No, I'm kidding. I actually have no idea.
Oh, shit.
Bats, man. Do we go through there? Do we go?
Let's go through it. This is
I guess we don't have a choice. Yeah. Oh, shh, shh, shh. I just heard a door squeak. You heard that too, right? Oh, there's a bat behind us also. We're surrounded by bats.
After the explorers heard a sound of a door squeaking, they listened intently, attempting to determine the source. They then cautiously went towards the noise to investigate, but they unfortunately found nothing. They ultimately concluded that the squeak must have been caused by wind or a bat flying into a door. They eventually ended their investigation and went upstairs to explore further. During their exploration, they started hearing some strange noises, but once again, they dismissed them as wind or a bat. The duo then went downstairs to explore the remaining parts of the building. However, as they were exploring the lower level, that's when they stumbled upon something that sent them running out of the building.
That's just a painting in the dust.
What's up?
I thought I heard something.
Really?
Yeah.
What did it sound like?
Like footsteps. I mean, we've already been all through here
I know.
and didn't see any. They're moving that way. Let's go this way. Moving that way. Go this way. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Is the basement? Yeah, okay. Okay, this way.
It was this way, right?
Yeah. Can't go with this through night light. Okay.
After the explorers heard the sound of footsteps, they immediately started running and went downstairs. However, as they were approaching the exit, one of them insisted they should not leave. Instead, they should go upstairs and investigate, as their sole purpose for being there was to uncover the truth within the building. The duo then built up their courage, turned around, and went upstairs to investigate the footsteps.
We should go investigate.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point.
We can't just bail.
Plus, that only sounded like one person, and we're two people.
Yeah. Those footsteps were super loud though. Maybe they were dragging something.
Yeah, it didn't sound like just walking. I'm hearing more footsteps.
We're not in here alone.
And I think they did that intentionally
To
for
scare
us to
us
hear
out.
it. It sounded like it was on the floor directly above us, though.
This is the floor. Should we say hello?
Hello? Is anyone here?
Hello?
Oh, dude. This was not like this before.
No. I don't remember any doors boarded off like that. Barricaded.
It's slightly ajar.
I don't know if we should mess around with this.
Should I knock?
This is weird. I wouldn't.
I have to knock. You got my back?
I have your back.
Anyone home?
Dude, they're not answering. That's weird. What do we do?
They would at least shout like, go away,
Yeah.
or something, you know?
That's fucking weird. I don't like this. This just feels something's wrong. Dangerous. Bad idea. Like what if he could still be in there?
I'm sick of this place. Let's just fucking go, man.
After the explorers went upstairs to investigate, they were startled to find a door being barricaded from the outside. Disturbingly, they didn't recall the door being in that state when they initially approached it. This indicated that someone or something was definitely inside the building with them. The explorers, upon making this chilling discovery, decided to end their exploration and leave the building. It remains unclear whether what Brian and Michael witnessed was paranormal. However, based on everything they encountered that night, it's more likely that a homeless individual or a squatter was inside the building and was potentially trying to scare them off. The individual initially made the door squeak, which caught the explorers' attention, but they didn't leave. They then tried scaring the explorers with loud footsteps, which initially scared them off, but they eventually returned to investigate. When the individual realized the explorers had come back, they likely hid inside the room and somehow barricaded the door from the outside. The explorers, upon noticing the barricade, along with recognizing the potential danger they were in, wisely chose to end their exploration, and they managed to make it out of the building without any harm. In January 2024, a British YouTuber named Jonathan uploaded a video titled, "Is the White Lagoon Bothy Haunted?" to his channel, Happy Hippie Wild Living. Jonathan's channel focuses on outdoor exploration, and he frequently shares footage of himself exploring various locations across the UK. In this particular video, Jonathan decided to go on a camping trip in Scotland's southern uplands and spend the night in the White Lagoon Bothy. For anyone unfamiliar with the term, a bothy is a basic shelter designed for campers and hikers looking for protection from the elements or a place to rest overnight. Usually located in remote mountainous areas, these shelters are often left unlocked and available for anyone to use free of charge. However, the White Lagoon Bothy in Scotland has a very disturbing history and is often linked to paranormal activity. Many explorers and campers who visit the Bothy have reported strange occurrences. One particularly disturbing encounter that was captured on video was by the YouTube channel Adventure Outdoors. During their stay in the Bothy, they encountered something extremely alarming.
Absolutely spotless. Whoa. Hold on a minute. I'm out. I'm out of here.
Disturbingly, these encounters are mostly reported by campers and explorers who visited the Bothy as part of their camping trips and are not typically those who investigate the paranormal. And the same is true for Jonathan, as his channel primarily documents his outdoor exploration rather than focusing on paranormal investigations. In the video, Jonathan hiked through the mountains to locate the Bothy. After walking for a while, he finally found the shelter. Jonathan then went inside, prepared his meal, and settled down. During this time, he also spotted a family near the Bothy, but they eventually left. As night began to fall, Jonathan started a fire and began updating his viewers about his plans for the night. However, as he was talking, that's when things started to take a very disturbing turn for Jonathan.
I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to use. Oh, maybe this is the guests. there was no one there. I don't know if that's just people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do. But I don't think it would be that family if it was just a dad and his daughter and son. Oh well, we'll see. It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. Fuck's sake. I just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this.
When Jonathan initially heard the knock, he suspected that someone might be outside and was messing around. But just moments later, he heard someone knocking on the door again. Jonathan immediately got up and went outside to investigate, but to his absolute shock, when he opened the door, he saw no one. He then went back inside and tried to comprehend what had just happened. However, this is when he encountered something once again.
This is gonna be a fun night. And they're walking around into the room, and then I go in there, and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Yeah, cameraman never dies, right? So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm going to enjoy into my time by this fire, and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong. So peace and love, good night.
After Jonathan heard the footsteps coming from one of the rooms, he listened intently, trying to make sense of what he was witnessing. And as soon as he went inside the room to investigate, the footsteps would abruptly stop. By this point, Jonathan had already witnessed enough strange occurrences and was consumed by fear and anxiety. But he didn't just leave the bothy. Instead, he distracted himself from the noises and eventually went to sleep. When Jonathan woke up, he mentioned that he had heard the footsteps all night, and it was probably one of the creepiest things he'd ever witnessed. It's still unclear whether what Jonathan encountered that night was paranormal or an elaborate hoax. But given that Jonathan's channel is all about camping and exploring nature, it's very unlikely that he would suddenly start uploading paranormal content, or perhaps start staging his videos. However, these claims regarding the paranormal are merely my own theory, and it's up to you to decide if the White Lagan Bothy in Scotland was truly haunted or not.